Hello. Welcome to my channel. Recently, you guys are supporting my channel very well, and thank you for that. And today, I will continue the video series with the timeless jewels. The idea here is that how to find them and how to not pay too much divine orbs for them. Let's start. First of all, you guys need to download Path of Building community version, and this is I think available for the Windows, and I will share the link in the description, but I'm pretty sure it is not very available on MacBook or something. So if you have got Windows, it's good to use, but if you have got MacBook player or some console player, it is hard to reach, but it is very great tool and I highly suggest you to do it. So how we find perfect timeless jewels for our build? Most of the people follow the build guides in the internet and check that, hey, for example, here we have got basic jewel socket, and you click this and you want to find the perfect one here. How to do it? Basically, go here and click find timeless jewel. When you click that, there is this option opens in the path of building and you can select jewel type. So let's do one example by following the very recent build that everyone talks, which is this ward loop build that has been introduced this game recently, which is cast on ward break support build. So what it needs is this new timeless jewel called Heroic Tragedy. When you click that and select Conqueror, and I think the Warana is the famous one, so you select that. Then you can select the socket placement here. For example, the jewel socket, all sockets, and it shows in the map where the socket place is that. Mostly people will use this kind of jewels in the ghost dance. Let's check it. Then you can select other stuff here, but you can figure out by yourself what are those. They are like calculating weights, but most of the part is like you select here which node you want. For example, for this build, regenerative runes are very important. Then you add extra stuff like, what is that? Was it? 1 second, I will find it. It is like endurance, yes, enduring sigil. So you click this and you write here total minimum weight. So this build, as I know, needs 4 this regenerative runes and 1 enduring sigil. So I will write here 5. Then you select the link itself and click search. When you write search, you can see that our first regenerative runes, for example, for this node in this jewel socket, we have got 6 regenerative rune and 1 this enduring sigil. So these are the options that you can follow, and when you copy trait URL here, it will basically usable on the website. So this is the how you find perfect timeless jewel for your builds. So you do this, then click copy trait URL and it will show you on the website, and let's check how it's shown in the website. Okay, when you copy paste that link, it will show you found results that you have generated from the Path of Building community, and when you click here you can see which nodes it has been generated. But don't forget this shows instant buyout and in person. So let's select instant buyout and click search by that. As you can see, we have got 19 results. So I think 85 divine orbs is quite okay for this build. Like, it is quite expensive, and I will show you in the second part how to find cheapest ones rather than buying those expensive timeless jewels. And I think this 15 divine orbs doesn't have 4 regenerative runes stuff. Let's check. What is that? 4206. So when we go to our stuff and select for 4206, as you can see, it has got 2 regenerative runes and 4 enduring sigil. So it is completely useless for the build. So that's why it is very cheap. But the idea here is that finding perfect timeless jewel is using this option in the Path of Building community, and then you can find the perfect one. But do not overpay this kind of stuff. You will understand what I meant very soon. Like, do not use this. Because you can use a lot of alternatives in the timeless jewel in terms of spot. So now I will show you how to find better version. So don't forget this number, it is 85 diviners, right? Now we will find the better version with the cheapest options. Let's continue. Okay, here is the trick. Most of the builds, like you follow one of the streamers' famous build, like they used here, right? Basic jewel socket. Or they use something else, for example here, or for the other builds they can use some of the places that very common. The tricky part is that most of the people blindly follow this guide. So they always check for this basic jewel socket, right? To get like cheapest one, you need to think differently. For example, rather than using here, you can also use here, right? Large jewel socket is also accepting that, or even other jewel socket here is accepting that. So you need to check for alternatives. For example, in our latest example, we checked that our perfect timeless jewel is around 85 diviners. And then when we check here, for example, large jewel socket, let's see how much it costs now. Again, we have got same settings, heroic tragedy, but rather than ghost dance, now we need to select the better place rather than ghost dance. For example, I am checking it and let's find the better place, which is not this one, not this one. For example, you can check for minion instability, but it is also very common. So I think it will be also a little expensive. Let me find it. Here, Eldritch Battery. So this is the spot that I have showed you recently. And again, I am searching for this total minimum weight of 5. Then I will click search. Now we have got other results. So I will copy trade URL, right? Now we will check in the real website. Okay, here we go. Now we are checking for the different position of timeless jewel, and now as you can see, price has been dropped a lot. Original price is around 85 diviners, but now, for example, this, some of them is still suitable, and the price is very low. Now it is 8 diviner. For example, is this? Let's check a couple of them. 4959. Is it possible? See, 4959 has 4 regenerative runes and 1 enduring sigil. So it is quite useful for this build, and we have it. Now what is the price? Let's check it again. It is 7 diviners. But when you check the original placement, it is 85 diviners. So stop paying too much money to timeless jewels and think differently, use sockets differently, then you earn a lot and you can finish your builds even with cheaper amounts. Because most of the time, timeless jewels are very expensive, so do not use the popular socket place, but use the alternative. Now I will finally show you one comparison between how I handled in one of my builds this placement and how much I earned. Let's continue with the final comparison. Okay, this is one of the examples that you can follow every time. This build is again ward loop, ward break build that use custom ward break logic, and it suggests you to use like your timeless jewel here, right? But as we saw, it is 85 diviners, it is quite expensive, and most of the time you need to like farm a lot, etc. It is very annoying. But what I did is that rather than using it here, I used here. But as you can see in the build, it suggests you to use this as a like large cluster jewel here. But then rather than using it here, I use it here. Then I found alternative. Let me show you how I handled. See, this is my build. I didn't use it here, but I used it directly from here. My timeless jewel is placed here. But then what I did is basically continue to build and use it here. Why not? We have got points and we have got some other stuff that we can use. So I moved it from here to here. Then my build still works, still powerful as the original build suggests, and I found a solution. So think differently. Do not follow builds blindly and do some kind of like alternatives like this so you earn a lot. If when you go to somewhere else and these points, like mini points here, are like not useful for your build, just use tattoos. For example, I don't need intelligent, so I am using increase maximum energy shield tattoo. So you can also use those to make your build powerful. So think differently, do not follow builds blindly, and have your own solutions. So guys, I have showed you how to find perfect timeless jewels for your build and what to do if original timeless jewel spot is very expensive. Think differently and check for other sockets. So thank you for watching, and I will prepare you very nice videos soon, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.